you're walking in, coming in, join your family, sit in the back. My name is Diana Carlson. I am the very, very, very proud principal of Montee Tech. This is my second year here as principal. My 10th year here as an administrator. I was an assistant principal prior to that. Prior to that, I was another school. I was in Leominster as a guidance counselor and Spanish teacher. I'm also a graduate of Montee Tech, a very proud graduate of Montee Tech. So the thing that I told your children this morning and yesterday was, I know what it feels like to come in, to be the new kiddo here. Some of you are coming from very small districts, some are coming from very large districts. You're coming into a school that's a little bit different, right? We have 18 different towns and cities. You're coming in with, some of you know a couple kids, some of you may know one person, some may not know many, okay? The beautiful thing about Montee Tech is we're like this amazing melting pot of kids just coming together from different, it's a nice fresh start. As we know, the transition to high school is tough, right? I think for anybody, I think the expectations are a little bit different. And transition again to an 8-week schedule, the vocational expectations is a lot sometimes, kiddos, but it's okay. You can do this, okay? And we have plenty of support. Parents, trust us and trust the process. I know your kids are new to us. We've been doing this for a long time. We kind of know what we're doing, and we'll do our very, very best to take care of your children, I promise you. Okay? So we have a ton of folks here today. I'm also a mom to one of our kiddos, too. So I have a junior here in the building, too. So I feel like sometimes we change our lens, and then we have a different view of things, like how I feel as a parent, and how I feel as a graduate, and how I feel as an administrator in the building. So it's really nice to sort of have that experience. So to say that I'm super passionate about what we do here and about Montee Tech, I hope it's evident. I think you're going to hear it as you hear from other folks here. I think you see it by our students and how they represent our school. Your students were able to meet some of our orientation leaders today and touch base with them too, which is outstanding. So I'm looking at my notes just to make sure. Soon I'll be wearing glasses, guys. Crazy. But the one thing that I want to remind everyone, so today your students got their schedule and they'll hear from their counselors, but one of the things too for parents, your children will be bringing home homework. I hope many of you, most of you by now have received a welcome back packet. Make sure that information is filled out and returned with your children. I know some of you brought them in today, this morning, but certainly on the first day back to school, make sure you do that. Many people have asked about our bus routes. Our bus routes were posted today around 2 p.m. Make sure you look on the website. Please remember that students can walk up to 1 mile, okay, it's state law, to their bus stop. So pay attention to the bus stop, where your child should go for the bus. Give us a little bit of time. As you know, these are new routes for some of our drivers. We have different students. Things shift a little bit. Give them a couple weeks to become accustomed to the route and the best flow, and then if there are any changes that need to be made, we'll certainly be in touch with you to do that. One of the things, too, we talked about today, the biggest piece with high school, I told your students, your children, you need to come to school. Attendance is key. We cannot duplicate what we're doing in our vocational programs. We certainly can't duplicate what's going on in our academic classrooms either. It's just different. We expect kids to show up. I expect kids to put forth the effort. I told kids today, I'm not asking that you take the most amount of AP courses. I'm not asking that you play every single sport or that you're a top athlete. I'm not asking you to participate in every outdoor activity, although I'm encouraging you to do so. Please, the biggest thing, you come, you put forth the effort. Okay, we have a ton of support here, but you need to be willing to come in, to put forth the effort, and the thing that I ask is that we're kind, that we're respectful. The biggest compliment as a mom, as an administrator, or as a teacher, is when someone says, "God, the kids are good and they're good to the core." That's what I want to hear and I want to see. Okay, we're kind, we're gentle. If we don't have something nice to say, we don't say it. Okay? Parents, and the deans will talk about student handbook, expectations, behavior. We have cameras all over this building. Remember this, kids. Buses are an extension of our school day. Those bus drivers work extremely hard to make sure that our kids get to and from school. Imagine being responsible for 60 kids on a bus. 60 kids, not your children. You're driving to and from school every day. Okay? It's a privilege to ride the bus. I say this all the time. It's a privilege for kids to park on our campus. Please follow the rules. Be respectful. And again, be kind. Okay? So one of the other things too, as far as getting involvement, how many of you are started sports already for kids? Raise your hand. Fantastic, good. You'll learn more and more about our different clubs and activities and theater. One of the cool things here, guys, we have kids who want to start new clubs and activities all the time. Come and see one of us, okay? We'll get things going. You may have had something that you were doing in one of your schools that you're saying, hey, this is really an awesome activity in my school. Let's talk about it and get it started on Monty Tech. We're always willing and want to do those things. So just make sure you come and see us. So again, for the parents, the homework, the packet, I hope your kids have done their summer reading. If they haven't, summer reading, there was a math worksheet. I know Ms. Faber will talk about that a little bit more. Please, please, please make sure that's done, okay? For parents, make sure you complete the work. Free reduced lunch, again, that's available to all students again this year. However, often there are other things that students can often qualify for, so it is important that you fill out that paperwork as well. So make sure that's filled out. Any homes that have a second parent, I know some folks say, I may not be getting the calls you're sending, dad's not getting the calls. If you don't fill out that form, we don't know who to send the information. Make sure you go on our website and you fill out those forms as well. And as far as communication, now that your students are in high school, communication is key. Let your kids drive, right? Let your kids take the wheel, okay? They're high schoolers. I told the kids, you walk through the doors, I consider you a young adult. Let's own what we do, okay? It's your responsibility. You're going through high school, not mom and dad. However, parents, as we know, we need to help guide our students, okay? So when the kiddo comes home, or you see that your student has a low grade, let them follow up with the teacher. Don't assume that there was an error somewhere. Don't assume that just let the kiddos email the teacher, check in, give an opportunity to do that. And students, it's for you, right? Your parents are not always going to be there. They're not going to call your place of employment or your college professor to say, hey, Joey didn't do this, and Joey should get paid this, okay? So just make sure your kiddos are taking the lead. Parents, you received an invite to join our portal. Power School is what we use here. It's awesome. You can access it right on your phone. You can log into the computer. You can check your students' grades. That is the best way to keep up with your child's progress. And the same for students. Make sure you're logging in and you're looking at that as well. So that's great for communication as far as student progress. The other thing is the messenger calls. Notice that I sent calls. Typically, all of my calls go with a voicemail. I do apologize, some are long, but they always follow up with an email. So if you're in the middle of something or you're saying, my goodness, I couldn't write that down, it's in your email, check your email. If there's an attachment, it's in your email. If you have a question, call us and ask. Okay, we're here. Okay, and last but not least, before I pass this on September 7th, we do our back to school nights. That's an opportunity for you to come and for parents to come. You can come with your children and you get to actually follow your kid's schedule and you'll meet your child's teachers. And there they'll talk about the specific expectations and all of the classes, after school days, support and all of that great stuff. But it'll be nice for you to come and put faces to the names of your teachers. Okay? So, anybody, si hablan español, habla español, por favor, si tienen que llamar, comunicarse, lo que sea, por favor, llamen, quiero ayudarlos. I speak Spanish, I never, and I don't speak any other language. Portuguese, I get through, but please, I never want a parent not to have access to us, okay? Call me, we'll talk. If you, whatever we need to do to communicate, please call me. We do send our school messenger calls in Spanish. I know we're having a little bit of an issue with the calls when they're going out, but we'll make sure we get that fixed. But again, when you're filling out your paperwork, please indicate on there if you do need any type of translation of that sort, because we want to make sure that we're giving you the information that you need and that you understand it. Okay? Ms. Schmidt. Ms. Schmidt is our outstanding assistant principal, and she has just a few reminders to give you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This is an amazing crowd, and welcome. We're really excited to welcome you and your students back. We're really looking forward to another great year. Again, I'm Katie Schmidt, the assistant principal, and I do 504s. So I just have a couple quick announcements about that. If your student had a 504 at their sending school, they have come over from that sending school. Most of your 504s have been mailed back out to you. What we do is we take the 504 from the middle school and we make it appropriate for high school, and we Monty-Tech it up is what we call it. There are a couple that haven't gone out yet, but most of them have gone out. Once you get them, if you have any questions or concerns, you can shoot me an email or give me a call. The contact information is right on there. If you have a student who is up for a review early, September, October, we will give us some time. We'll do those in a little bit later because we want to give our teachers time to get to know your student and identify what needs they're seeing and really have an informed discussion. So if you're due for a September meeting, we probably won't meet until October. The way we do plans is we just take a look at what they have and try to match them up to the best that we have here. Ultimately, we want to make sure that every student here is successful and every student has access to all the supports. We have an amazing school. We have lots and lots of support here. So we do our best to make sure everybody is successful. Whether you're a 504 student or not, if there's anything we can do, just reach out. Myself, guidance counselors, teachers, if there's a need that you're finding your student is struggling, please reach out as soon as you can, right? Give them time to get to know the teachers, but encourage your student to advocate for themselves. I want to mirror what Mrs. Carlson said. We're in high school. We're trying to get them to be more responsible, self-advocate. So we really encourage your student to reach out to the instructor, the guidance counselor, and say, hey, I could use some help with this. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schmidt. And guys, at the end of this evening, we'll be up here too. So if you have any specific questions to any of us, then certainly we'll be here. You are going to hear from the other administrators, but quickly, our SRO, Officer Bourne, I just wanted to say a quick hello, just because I know, you can say hi, but anyway, he's been a wonderful resource again to have in our building. You'll see Keith when you're dropping off in the morning, where the kids are getting on the bus, he's doing the traffic in the crosswalk, getting our student drivers out of here. That's quite the job right there.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I can't wait to see your kids come in every morning. You'll see me out there every day and every afternoon, rain or shine. Yeah, we have a good time out there. But I'll make a promise to you right now. I will do everything possible to keep your kids safe and happy while they're at the school. And I can guarantee you that the administration is fully involved in the safety of your kids. And we have a great collaboration between Fitchburg, Westminster, and all the other local departments around here on responding to the school. So you should know that your kids are in a really good spot. And again, welcome to Monty-Tech.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you. All right. Now I'm going to introduce, thank you. Mrs. Lamy is sort of like the queen of all things admissions in this building, and I have to say I still don't know how she does it. But Mrs. Lamy has interviewed all of your children, and she interviewed over 800 students this year. Again, so kids that wanted to come to Monty-Tech this year as a freshman. And I have to say, I wish we could accept every single kid that wants to come here, okay? But I'm excited that you guys are all here. So Miss Lamy does the interviewing, she does all the paperwork, she certainly has a ton of support from Mrs. Schaaf too, that's in our Student Support Services office too. They're a great team, work extremely hard to make sure that the paperwork is in, that they talk with school counselors, that they get all the information. So Mrs. Lamy, organizing all of this, your orientations, big kudos to you. I want to say thank you, because again, outstanding job. She makes sure that kids have everything and are ready to start and have a successful start to the year. So I thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For those of you who just come in, please come sit. Filter in. There's plenty of seats. Don't feel like you need to stand for this. So filter in. For those of you who are at the ends, if you could maybe move to the center of a section to open up some seats for people, that would be fantastic. So thank you for being here. We
love seeing families, like Mrs. Carlson said, I want to echo that, just family collaboration with school is the best way to help your child be successful. All right, kids, ready? Pop quiz. For those of you, when most of you were at orientation, some of you may have missed it, raise your hand. What was the one thing I said, if you remembered, I really wanted you to remember from orientation? Somebody be brave. Yes. That's a great one. Yes, we said you can always ask teachers for help. What else? It had to do with finding classes. Yes. We did talk a lot about being kind. Way in the back. Yes. Good job. We said teachers, staff will be everywhere. I know one of the biggest concerns about coming to a new building is getting lost. As the woman who gives the tours when I started here, I was concerned about that too. I promise you, when that bell rings, there will be tons of people in the hallways. So put that worry out of your mind. We will get you where you need to be. At orientation, your students all received a purple folder from us. Just like this. And there go my glasses, because I do need them. I'm not going to go through this page by page with you as I did with them, but I am going to ask you to do so at some point with your child. I told them I'm not trying to overwhelm them, I'm trying to equip them. So the things that we put in there are going to come in handy. I don't want them to just look at it once today and toss it. Put this folder somewhere safe, go over it together, you will find all kinds of information. Extra help, how do I access the late bus? A template to write out my schedule and write every one of my teachers' extra help days. Lots and lots of useful things. So please go through that together. If your child happens to miss their picture, we tried to catch everyone, but I did want to share they will have another opportunity on September 18th. So don't panic if you didn't, and we will still give you an ID. And when you walked in just now, you may have noticed it, and if you didn't, that's okay. I'm going to encourage you to peek at it when you leave. We talked with the students a lot about being kind, so thank you for whoever said that. And the theme for them is to be a team player, to have each other's backs, to work together. We actually watched a video with some people that were brand new strangers to each other, and they had to go through several experiences, and they helped each other out along the way. And the students and I talked about an analogy of every day if they come to school and they put forth a good effort and they ask for help when they need it and they're doing all those things, it's like they're getting a dollar bill or they're getting paid every day. And if they don't, they're not getting that dollar bill. And then I made the analogy with the students, I took a $100 bill and ripped it up. Well, that was a much bigger deal to kind of waste that $100. And the analogy I shared with them is if you're not coming every day, you're never going to earn that $100 bill. So they actually signed a poster that says they're committing to coming here and putting forth their best effort and helping each other out. We're going to leave it there until it's done. We then move it to the lobby in a glassed-in case so they can walk by it every day the first few months of school and have that visual reminder of, am I doing what I need to do? And then at graduation, 4 years from now, we're going to have it up. And so they can reflect back on these orientation days they came in when they were 14 and they were scared, and hopefully they will all have worked together to have the most successful high school career that they can have. That's our goal for them. Okay, so those are my pieces I wanted to share from orientation. So I'm going to pass, my leaders didn't come in yet. When you see my orientation leaders in the hall tonight, please say a thank you to them. These students have volunteered their time. Many of them have been here since 8 a.m. this morning. They have maybe missed a sports practice or whatever it might be. They have been absolute rock stars. I told the students they have the same t-shirt as the students received. They're going to wear them, when school starts. They are a resource for them. And we actually choose orientation leaders who are going to be juniors because they are the students that are also in shop when the freshmen are going through. So the students will see familiar faces and have someone to ask questions. So they're here tonight when you have a chance to tour the building. They will answer questions. They will direct you to classrooms. But please just say thank you because I could not have done orientation without them.
Okay, without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic to Christina Favreau. She's our Director of Academic Programs. Hello, welcome to Monty Tech. I'm certain that your reason why you're here is solely the academic program. Okay, so I'm just going to start off by talking a little bit about your student schedule. We do start the scheduling process in the spring with the placement testing. And that process is where we test all of the students. This year we tested over 460 students. And that's sort of our first look at your students' abilities. And we hire our teachers to grade every one of those assessments so that we can place them into the core classes: English, math, science, and social studies. After that, we take a look at Sunday school transcripts, we look at state testing data, council recommendations, and so on. And then for elective choices, when your student meets with Chrissy and Amy in the admission process, that's when they get to choose their electives there. So when we put all of that together, we put it in our PowerSchool system and shake it up a little bit, we get the schedules. And so we are just about finishing up that scheduling process this week. Schedules went out. There may be some changes, slight changes in the next coming days before school starts, but on the first day of school, everyone will get a brand new copy of their schedule, and they'll be ready to go. And some of the things that we provide in the schedule are support classes. We have ESL and Title I. Title I program is something that you're probably familiar with from your middle school and potentially your elementary schools. If your child tests in based on their placement testing scores or other testing data that we have, the way that you'll know that is that your child will have a math lab or a writing lab in their schedule. And what that is an additional 39 minutes of math time or English/writing time for your student to practice their skills in order to prepare them for MCAS. And as you know, MCAS is a state requirement. We have a 100% passing rate for our students, and so we encourage you to keep your kids enrolled in those classes. They really are a great support for the kids. If you have a student who is an ESL student, someone who not only has to learn all of the other classes like all the rest of the students, but also has to learn a new language, that's quite a challenge for them. We have a great ESL teacher, a great ESL program, so that we're able to help those kids transition in as well. Over the last few years, we've had kids from more than 10 different countries speaking more than 10 different languages, so it's been a real added benefit for the district, the school, students, and the staff to get to know these kids from different areas. And finally, just support systems in general. We have after-school help every day. Every single teacher stays at least once a week. But we also hire our very own tutors to tutor after school as well. So after school, you'll be able to stay. Students can stay for their current math teacher if they need that help, or they go to the math tutor, and they're getting licensed teachers to support them as well. So we also have a busing system that is here 3 days a week. From 4:15, we have 2 different bus tiers, so 4:15 late bus, and then the 6 o'clock for sports or whatever. So it's a real support for the kids. We also have MCAS review camps, and these are camps that happen during the day. They happen just before our larger MCAS dates. The week before, we run sort of a half-day review session, and the teachers will recommend students who they feel would benefit from sort of a refresher the week before, so that we can help get the kids excited a little bit. I mean, it's a test, but we review some of those common vocabulary and play some games with the kids so that they are ready to go for the test. And finally, I think my question now for the kids would be, raise your hand if you've done your summer reading. Okay. Raise your hand if you've done your summer math packet. Okay.
Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so if you have any questions about your summer reading, there's an email on our website right on the main page. If you have any questions, you can email any of your questions there, and we'll get back to you. I guess my final advice is it's going to be to echo what Principal Carson said, which is, you know, 9th grade is a tough transition year. It's exciting. It's a lot of independence. But I encourage you to encourage your child to advocate for themselves. It's the best gift you can give them. Thanks very much, and welcome to Monty Tech.
All right, next up we have Nikki Zarazinski. She is our Director of Student Support Services. Oh, I'm so sorry. I lied. Ryan Ricci is here. He is our Director of Vocational Programs. And before I pass off the mic, my orientation leaders did just come in, and I have more in the back. So where are you? Thank you, thank you, thank you. They are amazing. Mr. Ricci.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. In just a few minutes, you'll be hearing a lot of information about our exploratory program, and I encourage each and every one of you to give that your best. It's a great experience. You get to explore all 21 vocational programs here at Monty Tech. Get a feel for each, and then spend a little more time in some other ones that you choose, as well as some that might not be your first choices to check out, but you might find them as more interesting than you thought. Many of you heard this from me. If you were here at Acceptance Night back in June, we want all of our students to be successful in their vocational programs, and that begins with safety. We need to be able to trust that all of you are mature enough and responsible enough to work with some tools and equipment that could potentially be dangerous. We will ensure that we give you all the proper training, but we need you to prioritize safety as well. That means wearing proper personal protective equipment, like work boots, safety glasses, hearing protection, respirators, whenever they're necessary. It means listening to your teacher's instructions. They're experts in their fields, and they're here because they want you to learn, and they want you to be successful. We have a lot of fun here. We get to do some really cool projects. We get to work with amazing state-of-the-art equipment and technology, but there's just no excuse for fooling around or horseplay in the shops. So with that said, we do have 21 amazing vocational programs here. After you go through your exploratory program, you're going to spend 3.5 years learning the skills of a trade. Every other week, you'll get to spend a full week in one of our vocational programs. You'll have opportunities to earn industry-recognized credentials, and you'll also have an opportunity halfway through your junior year to participate in our cooperative education program, where you can work for a local business on your shop week, earn a paycheck, build your resume, continue to learn, all while attending Monty Tech. It's not something that you can get at every school. So I encourage you to be here every day. Give it 100%. I guarantee that in 4 years from now, which are going to go by very quickly, you might not see them right now, but they will. In 4 years from now, you're going to graduate with a high school diploma in professional and technical skills that are going to give you a competitive advantage, whether you choose to enter the armed forces or go on to college or enter right into the workforce. No one will ever be able to take those things away from you. So, welcome to Monty Tech. And I'll be available after the presentation for any questions you might have. Thank you. I'd like to introduce our Director of Student Support Services, Vicki Zarazinski.
Thanks. Welcome. Welcome back. I know many of you at the end of June. I'm not sure where summer went, but it certainly went quickly. It's nice to see so many familiar faces and new faces coming into Monty Tech, and we're always very excited to welcome a new class. As Brian said, my name is Vicki Zarazinski. I am the Director of Student Support Services, and this is going on my 19th, maybe my 20th year. I stopped counting. I also have a child here, so I'm going to give you some tips as an administrator, tips as a So taking a look at what is student support services. Every school district does things a little bit differently. Here, it is really everything you're going to need to be wrapped up with service. I oversee school counseling, guidance, as well as special education, and Kim Denopoulos will be really the point person if you're trying to get a hold of somebody during the day for 504s. Our 504 coordinator is our assistant principal, Katie Schmidt. But Katie and I are often out, so we do give you a point of contact during the day. What's important for you guys to know when you kind of take a look at that demographic of who is in the class coming in? We currently have, as of this morning, 1,437 students that will be at Monty Tech this year. We have 363 freshmen in your class. That can go up to 365. We've had a couple withdrawals, so we'll be bringing in a couple more. There are 18 cities and towns, as you know, but I want you to know when we talk about that placement testing, gathering information on your students, making sure we place them in the right spot. This year we had 55 sending middle school settings. That's incredible when you think about where you come from and why we do placement testing, why we have our teachers look at it, why we gather all the information we have. But I'm also going to tell you, when we talk about getting to know your student as a Monty Tech student, Monty Tech, as you know when you get the schedule, it's an every other week schedule. So that's 90 days of academics, 90 days of vocational programming, 360 days of academics before they walk across the stage, 365 like vocational degree. It's incredible what will happen in the next 4 years and how quickly, if you blink, this will go by. So as a parent, get your camera ready. As a student, please let your parents take the first day of school picture. It will never be the same. Those getting dust in the eyes, it happens, but it is a quick 4 years. So just again, guidance, special ed services, if you do have forms that need to go back to the nurse's office, you're returning that packet, you can send it, we'll get it to where it needs to be. I do want you to know we have about 30 staff that are dedicated to wrapping up students with services. So please know, we want to make sure that we are providing not only supports in college and career counseling, but we also have social emotional counseling. We want to take care of every pathway that can happen here and make sure that we're addressing all those needs. The guidance counselor, the guidance office, you have 2 freshman counselors that will be presenting shortly and that you'll be meeting through your freshman year. We recognize how much transition happens the freshman year. So you have 2 counselors that you'll get to know, John Lashua, Alicia Quinn. We do have them separated by last name, but they do work together. Their offices, we're all in the same suite. We're all in it to win it. So if you need help, we'll get you help. But if you're looking for your point of contact, it's based on the student's last name. So A-L is John Lashua. Alicia Quinn has last names M to Z. Sophomore through senior year, it will be, your school counselor will be based on the shop that your child is in. The reason why we do that is we build strong pathways for careers as well as college pathways. And different schools have different articulation agreements. If you ever want to see those, go in that program of studies that's on our website, and you can see what all the articulated credits to different colleges are. But our school counselors, your school counselor will change your sophomore through senior year. They will have the same counselor grades 10 through 12. Freshman year, we recognize the transition. Katie spoke a little bit about 504 plans when she was up here. Those have and will be mailed out. If you have a 504 plan, we don't know unless you tell us. So if you're not getting something, you feel there's a service on there, please let us know. The district cannot act on something we have no idea about, so it's certainly helpful if you provide that information to us. Special education, similar. We have reached out to middle schools. We've done transition meetings. We've done meetings all summer long. We're wrapping those plans up right now. Those have been going out. Your son or daughter will be assigned, or our students will be assigned a point of contact. Our special ed teachers will be reaching out in the first couple of weeks to introduce themselves, let you know who the contact person is, and we'll get that
lifted off the ground. We're getting every little detail, I's dotted, T's crossed, and hopefully get everybody right where they need to be right off the bat. Your first day for freshmen will be an academic day. So please know we start with academics. Freshmen and juniors are an academic first, and we want to make sure you have that. Counseling services. So career college counseling happens within our office. We do use a system called SCORE. There's career assessments in that. There's college searches. It's something we use all 4 years, so we'll be working on getting that set up for you this year and have parent accounts. We're going to let you start with PowerSchool, and then we'll introduce the next platform for you. Freshmen do take an interest inventory test throughout the exploratory process so that we can help inform whether it's a good fit for the vocational program that they want to go in, and if that interest fits with what they want to do. Let's face it, if you don't like being outside in cold weather and hanging out there, you probably aren't going to be super happy in a construction trade that you're out working in the snow on scaffolding. It's something that we're very familiar with the classroom side of things at this point, but you guys get to explore, 200 students get to explore 21 different vocational programs. We want to get them thinking about what that looks like career-wise. And that interest inventory helps us inform that. Counseling services are also provided within the district. We do have a school adjustment counselor, school social worker. We do offer some counseling services here that is rooted through contact with your school guidance counselor, and we do those referrals that way. We also have extremely strong community partners that I want to point out and make sure that everybody is aware. We know coming out of the pandemic, the increase in social emotional learning and the needs, anxiety, depression, everything that's kind of come with it. And what we're managing as families and households, I want to equip you with the resources we have as well. We do have Care Solace, which will match, there's a care companion that you can be matched with. There is a link directly on our website. If you or a family member or someone you know requires help and support, it takes a long time to find a therapist, to find a physician that can help you. This, you put in a little bit of information, and these care coordinators match up based on what you do. Let them do the work for you. We pay for the service. You provide the information. They'll find you matches. I want to make sure you know that resource is there. The other resource that is there is we work very closely with Luck Incorporated right down the road. We run 3 programs. 2 are pretty strong. We have 2 Luck counselors in here every day. Brianna Boulay, who is here tonight. If you do have questions about one of these programs, and they'll go on. Students taking a new direction. This is for students that are at risk and also just struggling. It could be with social emotional learning. It could be with drugs and alcohol. It could be with vaping. It could be with any of the things that our society is handling right now. This allows us to do not only in-school sessions, but some community support as well. There are half days that they're going on field trips. They're helping kids build stronger connections and develop relationships that, quite honestly, when we put ourselves in isolation throughout COVID, kids had a really hard time connecting if they didn't have a means beyond the cell phone, right? They didn't see each other. We're all kind of getting used to what it looks like to have friendships and relationships. They're there for that project. Yeah, we'll work more on the drug piece. We do have access to drug counseling as well. Frequently asked questions as I wrap up. Buses. Yes, it is the state law that the bus can be a mile from your house. That is true. We run 30 buses plus. So 30 buses here every day. Students and parents, I know this sounds silly, but please make sure your children know your address or the closest bus stop. When we run 20, when we're running 30 buses, it is inevitable that somebody comes out and says, I don't know what bus I'm on, and we have our list to help students, but they'll say, I live in the blue house by the oak tree. It's helpful. I know they've ridden with you every day to and from your house in your car, but until they need that information, and it sounds silly, but truly there are kids said do not know their address, and it's super helpful. Even if they get nervous and you know they're getting nervous, have them jot it down on something because it happens every year. The other piece, when we talk to students about this, the bus that they will get on has a magnet with a number on it, but it will also say MT for Monty Tech up top. There is always a student that gets on a bus that is not a Monty Tech bus. We want to make sure, if you're not sure, ask the bus driver before you get on it, or at least look for that MT. When we talk about 30 buses lined up, I know it's overwhelming, I know it can be a lot on the first day. If you get on the bus and you don't recognize anybody on the bus, turn to the bus driver and ask them, are you going to Monty Tech? Because that will also be helpful. When we talk about 55 sending middle schools, they might not know anybody on the bus, but your bus driver is going to be the one that can verify that for you. Okay? The last couple of things, we've been asked a lot, can we do outside counseling therapy appointments during the school day? I'm going to be honest with you, we are really maximizing our space right now with the services that we do provide, and I cannot agree to that and consistently provide a confidential space. We're going to just take those on emergency cases only, but please route those questions through your school counselor. Unfortunately, with 1,435 students, we can't do all the individual counseling. We know that happens, and I want to just be upfront about that as people are scheduling appointments. We'll do the best we can in emergency situations, but I want to put that out there. The best way to reach us during the day, we are a school where when we say we're out in the hallway and we're in the lunchroom, that's where we are. So please know, email is the best way to reach us. If it's an emergency, we do have our administrative assistants at the desk. They'll come find us, so call if that's the case. Please be reasonable with emails. I love when somebody sends an email and 20 minutes later calls to tell me that they sent me an email. It's helpful, but it's not helpful in the cafeteria. We're trying to really make sure we get back to people in a timely manner. We usually say 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours. We do the best we can, as you guys know. But I certainly want to be fair in saying if it's an emergency, please make sure you reach out and give us a call. There is that difference. A schedule change is not an emergency. Somebody needing to get a message to a student that would be really important, that's an emergency. So we just want to decipher that as well. All right, so I get to be the Grinch and the bearer of all the good things, but this is all to prepare your students to make sure that we are ready to send them off in the workforce in the right way. And the best way to do that is to help them get through the exploratory process, and I'm going to bring up the two school counselors, your freshman counselors, Alicia Quinn, John Lashua. John's been out on the football field, so he's really not one of the students. But one of the greatest things I'll tell you about our staff is that we really embed ourselves, and we are the fabric in the school community, and you're trusting us with our kids, so we want to be able to make sure somebody relates to everybody. And I have to give him credit, he's running off the field right now, so here's our school counselors.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. We are really excited to be here, and we're really excited to work with your student this year. My name is Alicia Quinn. This is John Lashua. As Vicki had said, we do split the alphabet by last name. John has A through L. I have M through Z. We do work together as a team. So if a student comes in and maybe talk to somebody right away, if John was busy and I'm not, we will, I'll take that student. So a couple things, just to reiterate, your student, when they come next week, on their first day of high school, will be walking into an A week, which will be their academic week. They will do 3 days of academics, and then the following week, they will do what we call pre-exploratory, which we are going to talk about in 1 second. So it's kind of definitely a good introduction to high school. They get a little bit of academics and then a little bit of break the week after, just to be able to explore all 21 of our awesome shops. So, I told the students this today or yesterday in orientation, don't worry about going out this weekend and going school shopping. Just make sure they have a backpack, make sure they have a notebook and a pen, and the teachers, when they get to their academic classes, they'll tell them exactly what they need, so you can worry about going school shopping the following weekend. All right, so we talking about, oh, one more thing, schedules. We know that some people have questions about schedules. We have seen your emails. We love the fact that students are emailing us about schedules, and we are working as fast as we can. So if you have emailed us in the last couple of days, we do see it. We will be getting back to you, I promise. Hopefully everybody that has reached out, we will be answering you by tomorrow when we're here, okay? So just know we do see it. We're not ignoring you. We're going as fast as we can. So, now here we talk about all the fun stuff having to do with shops.
I know we already addressed it, but apologies for being underdressed. I came in from practice, and I walked in and realized I'm matching our student leaders, so whoops. How are we doing? Information overload, I know. Bear with us on this, okay? So what we're looking at up on the projection is a sample pre-exploratory schedule. Pre-exploratory is where our students are going to have the chance to take a look at all of our 21 shops, okay? So they're going to spend, it looks like a little over an hour in every shop, okay? So we can see here on Tuesday, our students go into auto body, auto tech, cabinet making, house carpentry, and welding, metal, manufacturing going down the column, okay? And that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this is where your students are going to have a chance to check out every shop, okay? Your students are going to receive their schedules Friday in homeroom a week before we go into shop. Okay, so everybody should get this ahead of time. They'll know what groups they're in, like in advance, so they'll kind of be prepared on Monday for what shop they're going into that Monday morning. Okay. Our pre-exploratory groups are done by alphabetical order, and we just kind of like randomly sort them from there. So this is the worksheet that the students are going to get when they're done pre-exploratory. So after they've had the chance to check out all of our shops, we're going to give this to them at the end of the day on Friday. They're going to fill it out. It doesn't go home. It stays here. They're going to fill it out in shop. They're going to turn it in, and then we're going to get these. This is how we determine where you guys are going to go for the following 9 exploratory weeks. Okay? So we're going to power rank them by number. We're going to fill out our top 12 choices, and you're going to explore 9 of those shops. Right? 12 gives us a little bit of a buffer. We do guarantee, this is what's important, we do guarantee that every student's going to see their top 3 interests. Okay? What we really try to discourage, we know this stuff happens, but we try to discourage 4 weeks in, oh, well, that's not my number 3 anymore. Because we kind of already do our best to schedule things. I mean, we try to work with you, but we really encourage all of you guys to get the most out of pre-exploratory and really give us a good thought on Friday. We know that like it's a big choice. Like I said, we'll work with you, but because we're guaranteeing your top 3, it's tough if we try to switch things last minute. Is everybody with me on that? Okay, cool. Our last bit that I'm going to talk about is rubrics. So when everybody goes into shop for exploratory, they're going to get a rubric. This basically outlines like, the expectation, what they're graded on, and things like that. While we're talking about the rubric, I want to mention the dress code. Dress code during shop weeks, closed-toed shoes and long pants. Okay, probably preferably t-shirts too. So try not to forget it's a shop week. Don't show up in flip-flops. If you're not sure, play it safe. Wear sneakers. Okay? No, you don't need like steel-toed boots right away or anything like that. Just closed-toed shoes and long pants. We know that you guys are checking shops out. So we don't want anybody to kind of go out and get something that they may not necessarily need. If you guys don't come in the proper clothing, we will call home and we will ask home to bring the appropriate clothing. Okay? So yes, we are going to pester you if you guys don't do it. So let's do our best to remember when shop week is. The rubric is pretty cut and dry for you guys. It's nothing super over the top. It's very straightforward, so you'll be able to kind of follow that rubric and do the best that you can every week. And we're going to kind of talk about why putting our best foot forward is important.
Okay, and just to go on appropriate shop attire, even the students, this is for you, even during spirit weeks, okay, when we have homecoming and spirit weeks and we're, Hawaiian Day appropriate shop attire. All right, so unfortunately, if you come in dressed up, we're going to have to call home and be like, they still need appropriate attire, because if you're wearing a little tutu and it gets caught in the machine, that can be issues. Okay, but don't worry, because we plan it out. Come senior year, we make sure that Homecoming Spirit Week is not on the shop week for you, so you'll be able to participate. All right, now we are going to talk about exploratory and how, at the end of those 9 weeks, how you actually get placed. So, yes. So this is numbers, just for you guys to see. This, oh, okay, that looks weird. It does not look like that on my paper. But, just for example, so every shop has a certain amount of numbers that they are allowed to take. Auto body, for example, is 18, auto tech is 20, electrical is 24, business is 20, veterinary science is 20. So these are hard numbers. All right, so when we go and place students in shops, this is what we follow. Every year, when we do placement, and a student may not have gone into the shop, I get a parent who asks me, you're a tech school, can you just build a bigger shop? The answer, unfortunately, is no. As much as we want everybody to get in where they want to be for the first choice, we can't expand these numbers primarily because of safety reasons. All right, so what happens? Students go through 9 weeks of shop. At that 9th week of shop, what will happen is you will then be sent home during that week, what we call your final report card. And that will have all 9 weeks of the shop and what grade they earned in that shop. Then, you and the student will rank those 1 through 6. 1 being the one that they really want to be in, and 6 being one they wouldn't mind being in. Student has to sign, and then a parent or guardian also needs to sign. They will return those, and we'll go through this a few times with their student, but just so you guys kind of are aware of how it works, they're going to return those to us. If we don't have a parent or guardian signature, we do call home and we do double check, because we know it's important that everybody's on the same page. So we enter in all those choices, and then how they are placed goes back and placed in their first choice program, provided there is space, and the student received a passing grade of 60 or higher. All right, if you go through exploratory and you earn a 58, you're not allowed to pick that as a choice. If the number of students selecting a program as their first choice exceeds the spaces available, then that student with the highest grade in that specific exploratory will be placed first. So again, by choice and then by grade. The remaining students, if you do not get into your first choice, you will be automatically put on a wait list, okay? This is really important. So we always tell students, make sure, say you're in a shop that's not your favorite, and you're maybe not enjoying it, just put your best foot forward. Really look at that rubric, show up prepared every day, because that grade can matter. We have had plenty of times, say for example, Health Doc takes 27 students. We might have 30 kids who want Health Doc as a first choice. The last 4 of those kids received a 98. In order to break that tie and see who gets that last spot in Health Doc, we look at the final average of all the 9 exploratories. So even if you're in something that you're not 100% sure about, just try your best, okay? Because that average can matter. Does anybody have questions about that so far?
So let's do an example. If I picked business tech as my first choice and I got a 70, and she put business tech as her third choice and got a 90, who's going to get the seat first? Me, because I put it as my first choice. That clear that up? Hopefully that's like a good example. Some of our kids last year got a little confused about that. If we both have a 99 for the last seat in health occupation, and my 9-week exploratory average was 99 and hers was a 98, I'm going to get in because we both put it first, we both get the same grade, we then go to exploratory average. That's like our tiebreaker. Okay, to give you like some concrete numbers on that.
Okay, and so then what happens is once all shops that are filled with first choice are filled, we take those off the table and we see what's left for second choice. we see what shops are left. Then we go through, and the students who are not initially placed for first choice, we look to see what their second choice was. And it's the same process. It's by choice and by score. So kind of what Mr. Lashua was saying, even if you got a 90, say in dental, and it was your second choice, but somebody's third choice was, they got a 98 in dental, it was still that somebody's second choice, so they will get that spot if there was a spot left in dental. Okay? And so, what happens if you don't get into the shop that you want? Because unfortunately, this happens every year. We do have a pretty high percentage of everybody, of students getting into the first choice, but we will work with you. So the first thing that we tell students is, don't worry, this does happen. You're automatically on your first choice wait list, and people move. There are wait lists for a reason. Sometimes you get into your first choice and you're like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And you want, that's okay. Then you come to us and we're like, this is what has room. And then if they didn't explore it, and if there's still room in there, we do what's called a 10th exploratory with a student, because we know that you guys are all at a vocational school for a reason. So we're going to work with you. We just ask for a little patience, and sometimes, a lot of times actually, what happens is a student ends up saying their fourth choice. Okay, here it goes. And then their first choice becomes available, and that student's like, no, I'm actually really happy. So we do have movement, and they're allowed to move all the way up until the beginning of their junior year. So even students who are still on wait lists from last year, they're coming into their sophomore year, movement has happened over the summer, and so students are going to be able to move where they were hoping to be. So I promise you, we will work with your student, and we will work with you, because at the end we want you guys all to be happy and all to be successful in whatever trade you end up in. So that's a lot, and I know it's kind of confusing, but does anybody have questions? And we will put this on the website. Yes. And we will be sending home a ton of stuff in between now and the end of January, because it will take us that long to kind of get here. So what I would say is when your kids are in pre-exploratory week, make sure you're talking to them about what do you think you really would want to explore, because it really is those top three that will make it, that we guarantee, just because you guys have such a big class. Okay? And these are the weeks. One more thing. Sorry. If you're going on vacation and it is during a shop week, please let us know that, because what if that shop week is what one of their first choices are? If you're on vacation, I can't guarantee that we're going to be able to move them, but we will do our best to try to move them, because we want them to be able to explore their top choices. So students will receive what shop they're going into every Friday during academic homeroom. They don't know ahead of time, okay? We do it one at a time, because of the fact that changes, like people on vacation or kids get sick, things sometimes happen. So this is what we try to do. But we can see it. So if you call and say, in October we're going here, I would be able to be like, okay, we're going to move your son or daughter just so they can be able to explore their top choice. Questions? We're really excited to work with everybody this year. Mr. Lasher and I have some fun stuff planned for the freshmen, so we'll be here. Please come up and ask us any questions.
All right, before we pass you on to Mr. Schmidt to talk about the handbook, students, pop quiz. Where have you seen this before? So raise your hand. Again, go ahead. In your purple folder, every student has a copy of this in their purple folder. Mr. Lashua asked a question, or he made a comment about, make sure you know when exploratory week is. Not only do you have this in your folder, what else do you have in your folder that will tell you when it's a shop week? Raise your hand. I see some going like this. Madison, tell me. Yes. You have a calendar in their folder, and parents, you receive this in the mailing, but they have a calendar that has colors on it. I explained to them that calendar says A and B week the entire school year. So if you're coming off of vacation and you forget, look at it. Okay? So definitely make sure you're ready. Okay, without further ado. Hello again.
I just a couple things piggyback off of something Mrs. Quinn said when she talked about vacation. Just so you know, just a reminder, vacations are not excused absences. We really, as Mrs. Carlson said, we want you here, we need you here to be able to, access all areas of the curriculum and all the supports. So, while we understand and it stinks that April and February vacations are really expensive to fly, just a reminder, vacations are not excused absences, and so your student would be responsible for not only all the work, but the attendance policy. I want to introduce you to the two deans. We have Caitlin Shattuck is the freshman and junior dean. So Mrs. Shattuck will be your dean all 4 years, and Mr. Fury is the sophomore senior dean. Mr. Fury also teaches driver's ed with me, which is a good time. We have a break. We have a special break. It's okay. Another reminder, the nurse's office. I know Mrs. Zarazinski mentioned your forms. Please make sure you turn all of those first aid forms in, but specifically the nurse's office. If your student has a medication, that medication must come to us in the original prescription bottle. The parent has to drop it off at the nurse's office. You cannot send it with your child, and you absolutely have to have the doctor's order that says exactly, when they need to take it at school. So that's really, really important. And on the nurse's form, it is where you give the permission to give Advil, Tylenol, or Tums. Your child will not be given anything if you have not filled out that form. Your child will also receive demerits if those forms are not turned in by Friday, September 15th. That is your homework, Mrs. Carlson talked about, but it's a safety issue. We absolutely have to have all that information on file. The forms that you did are all important, but there's also a student handbook. We give our students the first day of school the handbook, which is handbook in the front, agenda to write their homework down in the back, and a pass system. The expectation is we will go over it with your student. I'm going to go over the quick highlights with you, but please read that handbook, be familiar with that handbook. The expectation is that you acknowledge and understand what's happening in the handbook. You will sign a form that says, I have read and understood the handbook, and you never read and understand the handbook, so then when we call you and say that your kid did this, and you go, but I didn't know that was a rule. That's in the handbook. That's why we give it to you. Please make sure that you are going through that with your student. You've signed your student up, we're thrilled to be here, but by enrolling at Monty Tech, you say, yep, I'm good with your rules. Attendance, that's always the big one. Please, if your student is going to be absent, you need to call the attendance line and let everybody know that your student is going to be absent. You can leave a voicemail, our extension 5248. It's also number 1 when you call the school. It's pretty simple. You can email either one of the deans, myself, if you have an issue, but please call and let us know. If you don't call us, the call is going to go out about 9:30 in the morning, and it's going to say your student was marked absent today. So if you haven't called us, please let us know. Students are only allowed 8 unexcused absences on A week, 8 unexcused absences on B week. So what's an unexcused absence? That's you got a bellyache and you don't feel good, you got a migraine, you're throwing up. Not something you would typically go to the doctor for, but you also, can't come to school. Those are your unexcused absences. If your student has a doctor's appointment, dentist, lawyer, funeral, and you receive professional documentation, that's an excused absence. Those, we don't have a limit on those as long as you have professional documentation. So your child has an appointment for their physical, they miss the day, we will say to you, please get a school note. All of your doctors, dentists, they all know and they're used to getting a school note. So if your child didn't feel well or had an appointment, a lot of the doctors, because co-pays are horrible right now, a lot of doctors, if you call and say, listen, I couldn't send my daughter to school today, she had fever, can I have a note? Some of the doctor's offices will fax us directly a note that said, Mom reported, Ben was homesick today. So we do need those professional documentation. If you're going to dismiss your student from school, you have to please write us a note, send us an email, or call us. You can show up, except we have a new security system, and you have to have an ID, and it takes quite a while, and it's pretty inconvenient for everybody. It's a lot easier if you just send your student in with a note in the morning, or you call and say, you know, Ben has an appointment at 10:15, I'm going to pick him up at 10, I'll bring him back, or I won't bring him back to school. Okay, so please call if they're going to be tardy, if we need to dismiss them. For the dismissal, we're going to check and make sure that you're someone who's allowed to dismiss your student. We'll ask you a series of security questions. Students who do not have documentation for tardies and dismissals do receive demerits. Those demerits add up, and after 8 demerits, they get a letter home, 15 they get detention, 20 a 3-hour detention, so on and so forth. So a lot of people, oh, my kid was 5 minutes late here, eventually that is going to add up to a disciplinary issue. We refer to that handbook often, and some of the highlights in the handbook, aside from being respectful, if you look at all of our rules, they really come down to being respectful. We have the dress code. The dress code, I spend a significant amount of my time on the dress code. The kids are so sick of hearing me say it. We do not allow hats. We do not allow hoods in the building. Please familiarize yourself with our dress code. We didn't address it today and yesterday. We didn't want to embarrass any students. They're new, they didn't know the rules. But there's absolutely no hats, no hoods. And the dress code, as you know, the building is air conditioned, so there's really no reason to be naked. All right? So I know I have a 13-year-old, and literally the only shorts they sell in the store now are this big. But in shop, they can't ever wear shorts. And in academics, we really ask that their shorts be as long as their middle finger. Not their middle finger, but their middle finger. Please familiarize yourself with that dress code. Their t-shirts are not allowed, certain phrases on their t-shirts, things like that. No crop tops. I know every shirt now is tiny, but no crop tops. They have to cover everything. Please, 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 we will call you, we will say your child's naked, come bring them some clothes, or we will give them some really ugly t-shirts from my grandmother's closet. So just check that dress code. It is a pain in the neck, I know. So again, we didn't address it the last couple of days. We were trying not to embarrass anybody, but this is what it looks like in your handbook. I'm not going to read it all to you, but we just ask you to please check that out. At any point, the dean's office, their number one goal is problem preventers. They want your student to feel safe, to feel comfortable, and to be able to come to school and succeed. If there's anything that your student is struggling with, a peer, a teacher, any issue, please come to the dean's office, send them an email, or you can call them, have your student pop down to see them. We really encourage students to email us. A lot of students are like, I don't want to go down, I don't want anybody to see me going to the dean's, I don't want to be a rat. If you send an email, it's myself and you, or Mr. Peary and your student, who are the only ones who know. We can't help you if we don't know. We cannot help you if we don't know what's happening. On the bus, during lunch, related, whatever is going on, please communicate that with us. The deans, all they want to do is help you get through the day, be safe and happy and successful here. So we really try to address problems before they become an issue. It's not all about discipline. Did I forget anything? Oh yeah, those attendance, the 8 days, A week and 8 days B week, that's for the whole year. So if you have specific questions about that, we're happy to help you. But again, like those vacations, they would not be. If your student goes over, they may lose credit. So yes, they got a 99 in science, but they don't get any credit for the class if they miss too many days. All right? We need you here. We want you here. Cell phones. Please don't text your child during the day. I know you miss them, and I know they love you, and they miss you too, but they're going to get in trouble. Well, it's my mom. I can't tell how many times we say, put your phone down. But it's my mom. well. If you need to get a hold of them, you can call the dean's office, you can call the main office, we can send a message, or please find out when their lunchtime is and text them during lunch. They're not allowed to be on the phones in the hall, no earbuds, no big headphones, nothing in the hallway. In shop, they get locked up. And in some of your academic classes, they do let them use them for like Kahoot and games and things like that. But they're not allowed to be on those cell phones, and we need your help with that. If you need to get a hold of them, please call the office and we'll get a message to your student. Okay. Any questions, please come and see any of us at the end. Again, 504 questions or dean's office, attendance, anything like that. I'm going to hand it back over to Mrs. Levy, and again, really excited to start the year and work with you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mrs. Schmidt. Last housekeeping piece. If your student did not receive their email credentials, it's their email address, their password, I'm going to be out in the lobby right out here. I very well may have theirs, or I'll take their name and I will find them the very first day of school. Students, last pop quiz before you go on a tour. Mrs. Schmidt mentioned in your student handbook, you have an agenda section, you have the student handbook. Toughest question I'm asking you, what's in the back that you may find helpful? Sophia. Passes, yes, but yes, good job. There is a map in the back of that agenda. They received a map today. I encourage them to circle their classes on it, but that map is also in the agenda. So use that. Don't do that until we're done because schedules might change a little. Okay, we're going to send you on a tour momentarily, just for a few minutes, walk around the school. Yeah, go ahead. All right, guys, just quickly, and listen, if you bring a baby with you, I will steal your baby. I know it's the first time, and look, he's been napping. I love babies, so bring your babies. Guys, again, thank you so much. I know it's a long night, and we know that it's a lot of information, and again, you will find this on our website. We will continue to send reminders. Our goal is for your children to be successful here, and I guarantee they will, assuming they come, they follow the rules, they're doing their best and putting forth the effort. And please, seek us out, ask for help. Again, we're here. We did send some of our orientation leaders home. They haven't been here since 8:30 in the morning. I felt a little bit badly, but we're around the building, and we'll be here if you have any questions coming up. Thank you so much, and thank you for picking Monty Tech, guys. I'm super excited, okay? Have a good day. We'll see you all